morning, beloveds. If you see my ceiling, I apologize. Honestly, I'm getting pretty tired of all of the challenges of doing these. Facebook won't let us do landscape on our phones. And honestly, every time I turn around, Facebook is fighting me about doing these. Yesterday, Facebook went down in the middle of the live. Well, fortunately, I was done with the input part of the live stream. So I'm currently using an iPad, which keeps flipping back, so which is why you keep seeing my ceiling. Honestly, guys, I'm burned out. I'm burned out. I don't think I can do this. I think I'm gonna finish this book, and then I think I'm gonna take a break. And you know how I like to say walk away from things? I think I'm gonna walk away from doing these live streams because I'm tired of fighting Facebook. I'm tired of fighting the technology. I'm just, and I don't have another 365 book. It doesn't mean I'm going to give it up completely, but what it does mean is what I might do is once or twice a week, I'll pop on in the mornings and I'll do, I'm going to start reading Ernest's little books. Because, unless you guys come up with a really amazing 365, I'm done. So, real talk, real talk. I've loved doing this. I hope that it's been helpful for you guys. I just, you know what? For all of the reasons listed, I'm in a rut and I need to find my groove again. So, it is March 6th. Our title is Love, the Keynote of Jesus' Teaching. Our author is Grace L. Faus, and this was published in Aspire in July of 1956. And so this is the Divine Science Federation. All right. Jesus made love the keynote of his teaching. He attempted to get across to his listeners the various meanings and shadings of the word love, using practically every style of teaching. Sometimes he spoke directly, commanding his followers to love your enemies, bless them that curse you, do good to them that hate you. At other times, he taught in the parables of the Good Samaritan, the prodigal son, and others. He set forth in the Beatitudes distinctive ways in which love must be expressed to obtain heavenly rewards today. When asked how to pray, he answered by delivering the greatest prayer ever spoken by people. In every phrase of this prayer, he emphasizes the interplay of the great love existing between the ideal parent and child. Jesus reached the peak of his oral teaching with the statement, quote, "Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. And this is the first and greatest commandment. And the second is like unto it, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. On these two commandments hang all the laws and the prophets." I'm starting to see new interpretations. One of them taking the Lord's name in vain. And when we grew up, we were taught that taking the Lord's name in vain is when you used God as a curse word. But recently I've seen a new interpretation where it's to do awful things to people in God's name. And I went, well, that is the definition of taking the Lord's name in vain. When I hate the phrase, "this is for your own good," because most of the time what it means is this, because people will say, "this hurts me more than it hurts you." No. Same thing. It's like, this is going to hurt you a whole lot more, but I'm doing it for your own good. No, you're not. Most of the time, you're not. Meister Eckhart said, if the only prayer you ever say is thank you. Jesus said, if the only thing you do is love, it'll be enough. Same thing. And that's what Jesus said. I didn't come to break the laws. I came to fulfill them. I came to fulfill them in love. Let everything you do be done in love. Which is one of the reasons why I don't like politicians, because everything that they do is in love, but it's in the love of power. They don't do things for the love of the people, you know? And that's one of the things that's definitely one of those things that I watch for. I listen to the way politicians speak, and I'm like, if you're stoking fear and hatred, you are not following the teachings of Jesus. So, you know, love thy enemy. Yeah. So, it's only on my mind because politics has been on the TV a lot, and I'm sorry, but political ads make me grumpy. They do. This is the time of year where I keep that TV remote really close and mute, because I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it, because they're not telling me what they're going to do. They're just telling me how awful their opponent is. And I'm like, that doesn't tell me anything about you. Actually, it does tell me a whole lot about you, but not the way you intend. So, you know. So, love. If we come back, love. If you look at, the Greeks had 9 to 14 different kinds of love. I think one of the mistakes that we've made in the West is that we don't have different words. We don't have different words. We don't have, agape is always the one that pops into my head that's Greek, but there's a whole list of them. We use love for everything. We forget that love is subjective. We tend to use love objectively. We love things that do things for us. But when we love other living things, we forget that they have their own wants and needs and emotions and lives, you know? It's not, and love isn't all about us. And that's one of the things that we want to remember. And we want to strive for that unconditional love that God has for us, which is what Jesus came to teach us. Jesus came to say, look, there's nothing you can do that will cause God not to love you. But if you want to live in heaven now, the way to do that is to love everyone. Now, at the very end of that, he says, love your neighbor as yourself. And I think one of the problems that we have, and this is, I saw it, it was a meme, and I saw it and I kind of went, oh, it's hard to love others as we love ourselves because we don't love ourselves. Think about that for a minute. Think about that for a minute. We don't love ourselves. So if we are loving others the way we love ourselves, we're not doing a very good job. So we want to go back and love the way God loves us. And I think that's where dogs, and people will argue with me, dogs and cats, why they're so important to us, because their love comes as close to unconditional love as anything can. You know, they love you with cats, they love you because you feed them, but you know, same with dogs. But dogs will love you almost no matter what you do. So, you know, there's that relationship, the macro and the micro. So as we go forward in through this, I talk about, my favorite Ernest Holmes quote is, open the windows of your soul. Allow the breath of heaven to remind you do live in heaven right here, right now. It's all around us all the time. Okay, and why I love that quote so much is because it reminds me heaven's not a place that I have to get to. It's a mindset. You know, it's a mindset. It's a head and heart connection mindset. It's a state of consciousness. Well, how do you get there? Love. You love everyone and everything. It's one of the reasons why I've started checking myself when I say I hate something. Because honestly, it's just a word, and I forget how much baggage it has. I don't actually hate really anything. There are a whole lot of things that I dislike. But when I hear myself say that, I'm just like, you know what? Do I really? And then the follow-up to that is, when I do the same thing with love, do I really? So, I think we need to go back to that idea of love, and we need to figure it out. And we need to recognize that there's a number of different kinds of love. I thought of another one, eros. That's not romantic love, because romantic love has a different, that's sexual love. So there's romantic love, sexual love, familial love, the love between friends, agape, which is divine love. And I think we just need to start using a whole lot more different kinds of love and doing a lot more of it, including loving ourselves. Because if we're going to love our neighbors as ourselves, it does behoove us to do a good job loving ourselves. Yeah. Because if I don't like myself, I don't want to love myself. I don't want to love my neighbor the way I like myself. That's not what Jesus was talking about at all. All right. Okay. So that is Grace L. Faus, the love from the Aspire magazine. So, you know, as with any of these women, look them up. Look them up. I did have I have a friend who attends the Unity Church, and I said, hey, I read this thing from the letters of Mildred Fillmore. Can you do you guys sell that book down in the bookstore? And she's like, oh, no. Here, I'm gonna order it for you on Amazon, because the Unity has a Amazon storefront. And I just went, so the store so the Unity's still gonna get some credit for they'll still get some money out of buying the book. But so I did actually go and get that book. So I'm kind of excited to see when it comes in. Because I was going to pay her for the book, but oh well, here we are. Okay, so yeah, so that's the mission today. Go ahead and look into all of the different forms of love and how you can use them. All right. I have a whole litany of other things that I can say, but one, I'm short on time, and two, yeah, I got to get out of a rut. So what I am going to do is remind you, if you want to know what's going on with the center, please email info@creativelife.org. That'll get you on our constant contact. And please remember that on all of the social medias, we are Creative Life Spiritual Center or Creative Life Spark. I think we're Creative Life Spiritual Center on YouTube and Facebook, and then Creative Life Spark on Instagram, but I don't know what we are on TikTok. I am the Running Rev Ryan on the social medias. So, yeah, I am still going to encourage you to have a great day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, a magical day, an enchanted day, a wonderful day, an awesome day, an amazing day, a loving day, a practicing day, a middle of the week day, getting ready for what's coming up this weekend day. I got a busy weekend coming. Good day. And if that's too much pressure, simply have a day. You are enough just as you are. You're a beloved child of God, or as one of our other authors said, a beloved expression of the divine. We're back on the theme of love. A beloved expression of the divine. You are a brilliant light, a divine spark. You are spirit in motion. You are God in action. All right. And as Reverend Jesse likes to call us, you're a godling. So, I am going to remind you, Reverend David will be on around 5 p.m. with you. I'll be back with you around 9 a.m. Take care of yourself. Know that you are loved. And I will see you next time.